everybody. Ready? How's it going? Sorry, Mallory, I'm late. I have some echoes here. There we go. Fix the echo. I hope you are doing well. So, the first order of business that we have this evening is to talk about Farron's documentary, or rather, the lack thereof. Oh, it's just one of those things that if you say you're gonna do a documentary, you gotta fulfill it at some point. You know. Yeah, it's just I don't make the rules. I don't make I don't make the rules. So there's definitely some concern out there in the multiverse that it's not quite happening the way people thought it would. And the thing of it is that if you're not doing it the way people thought you should, you're gonna get some pushback. You're gonna get some, pushback. And so yeah, right now people feel like they're she's not doing what she said she was gonna do. And but when you're facing criticism about something, there's like literally nothing that you can do that's gonna make people happy. Um, and so this is what we have. As you can see, this Twitter thing that I have up right now. We have Baron Melons. Yeah, she's just trying. Bless her heart, she's trying to carry on like everything's fine, everything's formal. Everything is not fine, dude. But we're gonna pretend like everything's fine. And so we have and I feel the need to, if this works right here, I feel the need to change voices. So here we go. I found my new hobby that officially makes me change my pronouns. Crossword puzzles. My pronouns are now old/aged. Like fine wine. Oh, and man, you know what? It did not work when I tried to change my voice. It did not work. Let's see here, because I want this to work. So let's see what I did here. I know what I did.
So here's the braided Give it a second to make sure. I gotta be careful with the settings. Sometimes. Sometimes the settings. Sometimes the settings don't work the way you want them to. It's all good. But now we have it, so we can try this again. I found my new hobby that officially makes me change my pronouns. Crossword puzzles. And then of course we got the response. And we have to do a different voice for that.
This should be fun. Andrew's son says, I'm surprised. Oh, no, wait a minute. That one's not working very well. Let's change it. Let's see how this one sounds. I think this one might be better. Maybe. Okay, yeah, let's go with this one. Let's just do this one. Andrew's son, I'm surprised. At Fair and Balance has time for crosswords. I thought she was busy not releasing her documentary and starting her new, totally not made up job that pays Farron a lot of money and also pays for any legal action Farron chooses to initiate.
And then the normal is just me here. Haven't heard anything about the doc in a while. I hope she does have a new, well-paying job. And I do. I actually hope that she does. Because new jobs are fun. And they're definitely, they're definitely a blessing. I wish I had a new job. So, toast to Farron having a new job, and hopefully, one day in the not so near future, we'll hear about whether or not this Eliza Blue thing is ever going to happen. There's a lot of questions about that. A lot of questions. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. Ha! Got some comments here. Thank you. Didn't Farron raise money through producers for the documentary? No, that's kind of it's kind of a good question. Because I know that the way that it kind of worked is that I believe Christy Mayer and her manager slash, I'm wanting to say also fiance, were supposed to be the people responsible for this. Responsible for, for helping get it to where it needed to be. And it's really hard to say right now. I don't know what they did money-wise, and part of the reason that I can't say for sure what they did money-wise is because, like, what did she actually do that required her to raise money? You see what I'm saying? She did a lot of. I know that she's supposed to have done. Hold on a second here. I'm getting myself confused. I think there was a fundraising team. There may have been a fundraising team. But see, what did they actually need to raise? But what did they have to exactly raise money for? Because, like, she was doing interviews, right? But beyond that, what was she really doing? If you have a link to that, I'll share that. At some point, I might have to switch over to doing just Rumble because I have to be careful what I share. Well, I'll keep going on Twitter, but I'll have to be careful about YouTube because it's really hard to say what I'll get struck on and what I won't. So yeah, that's always fun times. But I can tell you one thing that I know that is interesting is that she's getting questions about it and she's not talking about it. So I got this from somebody. They have this thing that tells them that that tells them when somebody has read something. And 18 hours from March 9th, she had opened that email from this individual 4 different times. And neither of those times did, any of that neither of this time there was none of that they got replied to. And the same goes with quartering. The quartering kind of got people excited. Well, maybe we'll finally get a lawsuit. But guess where that's kind of been? That's kind of been, right up there.
With one of these days, maybe one of these days, we will see justice. But today is not that day! And tomorrow isn't looking so good either. But until then,
we will just have to keep going. Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that both of them have gotten the emails about both any updates for the for the documentary, and we know that they've gotten the emails and they've read them. And in regards to whether or not he actually plans to sue. And yeah. And for some reason they're not answering them. They're opening them multiple times. And for some reason they're just not answering questions. And the thing of it is that for those of you that don't know, I've produced documentaries before. Okay. Well, not specifically documentaries. I've produced short films and directed and written a couple of different ones. Got to go to some Comic-Cons where those did fairly well. And they got viewed at some events and things like that. But typically, it's like you have a schedule, and you keep to that schedule. I know that there was these things with her wanting to interview, like, as many freaking survivors as she can. And I mean, I support that. I support that. I support wanting to try to interview as many people as you can, but at some point, you have to say, okay, these are the different deadlines that we've got going on here. This is what we're doing when. And then you stick to it. Because typically, you do have a budget. And you can't just constantly be adding people that you want to interview because you don't have the budget to keep interviewing those people. But if she was just doing the interviews, say, via StreamYard, and they were joining her remotely, then she really, it's not like she was needing to really pay a bunch of people, you know. There's that aspect of it as well. She wasn't necessarily having to pay someone to do sound and having to pay someone to run a camera. They were likely just joining her. But at some point, it sounded like she may have had like 4 people that she was interviewing. And so it's like, I mean, surely those people are all wanting to be like, you know, hey, what's going on here? I mean, I would. Maybe they need to raise money for fairs to get a cable subscription to access other documentaries to plagiarize.
That's a good question. Maybe they did. And then, of course, I don't think it helps when Farron and Christy are using Eliza's tactics against their own critics. Should I just keep my voice like this? Can I get a 1 in chat if I should just keep my voice like this? I have figured out a way here to try and get more than one chat on the screen. So there's Rumble as well. Oh, you like my natural voice, Andrew-san? Aww.
Okay. No. There we go. But the other was more fun. So occasionally here I can pull up the Rumble chat if I need to. The thing that's really nice about the Rumble chat is that while I am not monetized on YouTube, just FYI, if you are on the web browser, you are able to donate on there if you like what you're seeing. I need to get my grift on. Yeah. So if you have an account over there, just remember that you can send me money over there. However, the big reason that the Venmo and the Cash App is nice is because I don't get any kind of payout from them, I think, until it gets up to $50. That's kind of the last that I heard. Oh, we have another viewer! Winning Reality! Did you catch my stream on Wednesday? That was like a 3-hour marathon, if I remember correctly. And I have not yet watched it. I think some of it I think I missed at the beginning. Did you mention, was it at the beginning that you mentioned how Monty was involved on that? Was it maybe at the beginning? For those of you who didn't know, Winning Reality has done. I'm gonna say this name wrong. 2 hours. So 2 hours of it is the documentary. Okay, so Winning Reality is doing this 2-parter on this place called Elon. It's one of those. It was these boarding schools that they would send people to. Okay, gotcha. And these I've heard of these before in the past. I think that there was other places that I had heard of, not necessarily that Elon location. But when in reality, correct me if I'm wrong. That is where maybe Monty had spent some time there. What that was kind of my understanding. But if I missed it, please correct me. I have to go back and rewatch parts of it. But in case you didn't know, that these places that they would send supposedly troubled teens to, sometimes young adults. It kind of depended on the location. So watch the end and find out. Okay, I will do that. I haven't had a chance yet to watch the entire thing. But I'm glad to see that it was the. We may get around to doing that at some point. I think it's specifically it's kind of the ending that I'm most interested in, because I'm really most interested in seeing how the Monty was involved in all that, because I've heard of these places before, and what goes on at those boarding places. I don't even know if we still. There may still be places like that, but some of the places have been closed down over the years. Like, I think that I'm assuming anyway that Elon location has been closed down. I don't think that place is in operation anymore. But there's been other places, like Paris Hilton has even talked about these camps and these boarding places that they would go to, and the abuse that has come out over the years at these locations. And I've heard about this even before you started talking about the Elon. They're horrible places. And, people, it's just sad because there are some parents that I think that are sending their children here thinking that, this really will make a difference. And they think that some of them, I think they really think that they're doing what's best for their children. Some of them, they just have they've had really tough times, brushes with the law. Sometimes they might get accused of doing stuff that they really didn't do, like, hey, this person attacked me first. I was just defending myself. School fights like that, shit goes down, and the kid ends up just getting railroaded. By the end, the answer as to business should be very clear. First, I give all the backstory. And I think the backstory is definitely important. I do know that I'm not going to have time to watch it tonight. You're doing something Saturday, aren't you? You have another episode coming up on Saturday, Wendy? I've got kind of a full thing here that I was planning on doing tonight, so that I don't know that I'll get to that. One thing that is connected to Monty is the Nick Rekieta lawsuit. And so we got I kind of got a funny story about that. I guess it was funny to me. So, he's had a couple of, this lawsuit that he's got with Monty, he's had a couple of, virtual hearings, right? And so I knew that there was a way and a possibility of being able to view it, or technically I think you can. I don't know if they really want people viewing it, just, like random strangers, but they give you instructions, and they're supposed to have one on April 10th, but let's see if anything has changed since then. And no, the most recent thing is still that, and I can pull it up here. And I want to share this because I tested it out. I was like, can I really do this? And I found out the answer is yes. Not that hard. Crap, I gotta get back into the StreamYard thing here. Okay. And so yeah, I found out that it would actually be very, very easy for you to join if you wanted to. And I'm gonna pull up, just gonna go ahead and pull the instructions on that. Because I couldn't believe how easy it turns out that it is. But yeah. So yeah, April 10th at 2 p.m. and this could change because something could get canceled, but as of right now, like and the thing of it is I've tried it out, and I was able to do it. And it was like Have to work. All right. Peace out, dude. Love you. Love you, brother. And like I was able to, I was able to do it. And this was like at 4 in the morning, and there was nobody there, but I could easily do it if I wanted to, and it was just like, okay, that's interesting. So yeah. But if you want to, it's very easy to just go to the Minnesota courts and you can look up all the files. They have it probably more easier to do on there than probably anything else. So there's a possibility that I'm gonna have to contact the court and I'm gonna find out for sure. But the point of this here is that I think it's possible that if I wanted to, it would be very easy for me to restream this, and we could all watch the fun together. we could all watch the chaos together. But a less interesting thing. At least I'm discovering that it is apparently a less interesting thing is the Eliza Blue thing all overall. I mean, people still want to know what is going on with the documentary. But I recently did a poll. So I'm going to pull that up here and share it with you. About what people thought. And it actually didn't surprise me. We'll get to why here in a minute. I'm curious how those following hashtag Eliza Blue Saga would feel and whether you would support a Give and Go for the following. A. Someone going to California to talk with people in person who might know more about the time period, which would have been, we believe, would have been 1998. It's quite a, yeah, 1998 is when she supposedly went out there the first time. And maybe, maybe we could find out the more recent one as well. When it comes to researching things online, I guess, and this is something that Fango has mentioned, that when Kim.com, I think it was Kim.com, got raided and they took his servers online, and I guess it took like a whole bunch of the internet with it. There were also all these sites that were lied on those servers, is what he says. And so when it comes to doing things online, I feel like I've hit a wall, and I've come across about as much as I can do. And I'll just show you here a minute some Freedom of Information acts that I'm trying to do. And then or hiring an experienced local private investigator to see what they can find. And as you can hear, it may have been just one person. There was 11 votes. One thing I don't like about the Twitter polls, I don't math, okay? So I'm guessing 6 people said don't care, move on. And there was, I don't know, maybe 4, roughly 4 is saying B, hire somebody. And then maybe 2 was like, go out there yourself. And someone commented, I honestly wouldn't spend money on it, at least not that extent, but don't agree with just letting it slide as well, even though it seems there's not much on getting people to be, not much on people getting to the bottom of her BS. Maybe there's some other way without needing to do any of those. And that's kind of the problem. We're gonna see what I mean here. The things get complicated. It's very easy, in my opinion, for a lot of these people to kind of start, I guess, ignoring you. If that makes sense. When you're reaching out to them and you're sending them emails and stuff, it's just very, very easy for them to just ignore that. But hey, if you show up on their doorstep unannounced, I don't know. They could they could tell you they could call the cops. I don't know, they could tell you, hey, get lost. They tell you to get lost, that's fine. But I think there's something about people coming out and being there in person that they tell you to get lost, that's fine. It just kind of makes them go. I think there's something about people coming out and well, they're here. They're here, so what are you gonna do? Kind of thing. Yeah. I think it's a little harder for them to just completely ignore. So yeah. So there was some things on Twitter that I wanted to look at. Some of you may remember there was some more developments when it came to things like and Matt Taibbi and Twitter files and the meltdown that the people on the left will have about these kind of things. Let me play this.
Well, so what? Are you jealous here, Debbie, because his Twitter followers increased? This is ridiculous. She does not look like a happy person. She does. She just looks like, she's got what's the phrase? Resting bitch face. That's what it is.
Before the release of the emails in August of last year, you had 661,000 Twitter followers. After the Twitter files, your followers doubled, and now it's 3 times what it was last August.
So what? Well, so what? Are you jealous here, Debbie, because his Twitter followers increased? This is ridiculous to me.
It is ridiculous. I mean, if you're talking about something that interests people and something that they care about, your Twitter following is going to go up. And his reach to begin with, was not that small. And so it didn't really take much to get his Twitter following even further along than what it was. It's just kind of...
I don't feel like this is relevant.
Way to go.
I really don't. Matt Taibbi has a lot of patience because there's no way I could have sat through all of this.
I imagine your Substack readership, which is a subscription, increased significantly because of the work that you did for Elon Musk.
No.
Now, I'm not asking you to put a
say
dollar
it's
figure on
so.
it, but it's quite obvious that you've profited from the Twitter files. You hit the jackpot on that Vegas slot machine to which you referred. That's true, isn't it?
Why is she acting like Matt Taibbi just became a journalist yesterday? He's written multiple books that have been on the New York Times bestseller list. Why is she acting like he just became known yesterday? That's what's hilarious to me. You hit the jackpot, didn't you? Should we talk about your fun? See, this is why I couldn't be sitting there. This is why I could not sit there and have this line of questioning, because I would have snapped back and said something like, should we talk about your funds, Debbie? Should we talk about your campaign funds? Where you getting your money from? How you support the military industrial complex?
But none of that matters. Come on now. One thing that has been hilarious to me is watching the extent that Republicans have become anti-war more than they were ever before.
Face. Resting bitch face. That's what it is.
You had 661,000 Twitter followers. After
So what? Well, so what? Are you jealous here, Debbie, because his Twitter followers increased? This is ridiculous to me. I don't feel like this is relevant. I really don't. Matt Taibbi has a lot of patience because there's no way I could have sat through all of this.
I mean, I wouldn't.
I imagine your Substack readership, which is a subscription,
not.
increased significantly because of the work that you did for Elon Musk. Now, I'm not asking you to put a dollar figure on it, but it's quite obvious that you've profited from the Twitter files. You hit the jackpot on that Vegas slot machine to which you referred. That's true, isn't it?
Why is she acting like Matt Taibbi just became a journalist yesterday? He's written multiple books that have been on the New York Times bestseller list. Why is she acting like he just
But
became known
he did.
yesterday?
Didn't he?
That's what's hilarious to me. You hit the jackpot, didn't you? Should we talk about your fun? See, this is why I couldn't be sitting there. This is why I could not sit there and have this line of questioning, because
I've never heard of Sabrina Savolti until now, but I mean, I like her. Sometimes I don't know. I go back and forth in my head. I'm like, do we make more out of these Twitter files than what they really are? Because again, just like with the Eliza Blue thing and people getting censored on Twitter and YouTube when they're not supposed to. I mean, we as of yet have seen no lawsuits. Even though there was some people that I've said from the beginning, somewhere there's a judge that is going, fuck all of these people. This is going to wind up in my courtroom. Fuck. But so far, excuse me, not yet.
because I
Nothing
would have
yet.
snapped back and said something like, should we talk about your funds, Debbie? Should we talk about your campaign funds? Where you getting your money from? How
What
you support the
campaign
military
funds?
industrial
Come on
complex?
now.
Should we talk about that, Deb? Your Substack viewership increase. So what? You want a Substack, Debbie? You want to write, Debbie? Go sign up for Substack and start writing.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong. Not at all. But it does kind of make me laugh some ways because just trust me. I do not remember.
She does not look like a happy person. She does. She just looks like, she's got what's the phrase?
I don't remember. I just don't remember Republicans being so quite anti-war as what they have been when it comes to this. We got something here from the J6. We will be getting to that. Maybe we'll go to some of what's going on in Springville, California as well. But we're gonna jump around here a little bit. We're gonna go back and look at some of these Sequoias that I've tried to do. So let's pull up this here. I've had 2 of them, and both of them are related in one way or another to Eliza Blue. And of course I'm doxing myself, but I've doxed myself like I don't know how many fucking times. So it's like whatever. You know, it is what it is. I've doxed myself. I don't know how many fucking times. Yeah, when I share this, oh, how much of this do I really want to share? And I don't think I can. Okay, hold on a second. I mean, I know I've had a few streams where I've accidentally done it, but that doesn't mean that I want to keep doing it on a regular basis, I guess. So, let's see. I would pull something up and I would be like, oops. I didn't mean to share that. I think I have it here. But I can share this one thing. So that right there is the 2 different ones. And as you can see, they're both saying that that they're closed. Hold on a second here. I got. And there's people here that want to argue with me about who said what in the Murdoch case. Hold on a second. Let's respond. I've been talking to them about about a juror that was on Dr. Phil. From the Murdoch case. Now, in the Murdoch thing, if like, it's like at this point, what's done is done. We cannot change which of these jurors might have lied about what. We can't can't change it. These people are just wanting to go on and on about, the terrible injustice. And it is a terrible injustice. Alright, so, alright, here's this. This was specifically regarding what I did, regarding Morthland. I'm looking for any FBI files related to Richard Morthland during his time in office in Illinois between 2011 and 2013. And, it just goes on there that, and during his campaign for Lieutenant Governor in Illinois, and whether they currently have any files that include info on the following keywords: Eliza Sipe, Eliza Blue, Eliza Knows, Will Star Hip Hop, sex trafficking, any information regarding investigations past or present regarding sex trafficking, regarding the above mentioned name, wants to know about any investigation that might have occurred prior to him getting into office, and relevant background info that may have been conducted on him and immediate family prior to him being accepted as Illinois candidate for office. Any issues that the FBI might have addressed while he was in office between 2011 and 2013 and during his 2018 campaign. Would also like to know if any open cases exist regarding online harassment complaint involving his daughter, Eliza Blue, also known as Eliza Morthland. And I probably should have worded that a little bit differently. But that got denied. Basically what I'm wanting to figure out, what I'm wanting to understand here, in case you all didn't know, what I'm wanting to understand here is what, who knew what when? If they did know anything at a certain point. Because if that's true, then back in 2011, a possible rape of his minor daughter was being covered up. Even back then. And this would mean that those yahoos and the GOP office in Illinois knew about it. They knew about whatever reason that he was covering up the rape of his minor daughter. Because she was supposedly still 17 when all of this happened. And it's just like, come on now. I just cannot imagine that if my daughter went out to California and was terribly, horribly assaulted, I had a thing from my insurance saying there was a rape kit done and there was a ambulance that had to take her to the hospital because she was just such a terrible shape. That the hospital would have been a mandatory required to even report it. And I've already attempted to try and see what I can find out from the Los Angeles Police Department, and it appears that I might be coming up against the issue that, one, she was a minor, and some of the records that I might be wanting when I was asking them for stuff, that might be falling under HIPAA. They might be hiding behind HIPAA. But the issue is if the police didn't bother to investigate it, how do you find that out? How on earth do you go about holding the police accountable? If something did happen to her when she was that age, I'm wanting to know how you go about exposing that, on holding them accountable. and saying this can't happen again. This happened when she was 17. This cannot happen again. This is wrong. Shouldn't have happened then. Shouldn't happen now. But how do you do that? How do you make sure when nobody else, when the people involved in it, when the people that, would be, hey, I'm this person and I want these notes, they would actually be allowed, they would actually more easily be able to get those records than what I would. But if they won't do it, then what do you do? How do you fight for someone that's not going to fight for themselves? It's like you can't, basically. So I really kind of have come. I feel like I've come as far as I can go. But I got a response. And I want to go ahead and share that response here. See, is this the right one that I'm looking for? I apparently, supposedly, was misunderstanding just who it is that I have to contact about this. So this is basically what we have here. And so, it says, seeking records concerning Richard Morthland. Your request has been received by the Office of Information Policy of the United States Department of Justice, which processes Freedom of Information Act and privacy requests for records maintained, as well as records maintained by the Office of the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, Associate Attorney General, Public Affairs, Legislative Affairs, and Legal Policy. OIP also adjudicates administrative appeals and denials, yada, yada, yada. Please be advised that the right of access to federal agencies that exist and can be located that provides a right of access to federal agency records that can exist and can be located in the federal agency files. Does not require agencies to conduct research for you, to analyze data, to answer questions, or to create new records in response to a FOIA request. Moreover, FOIA does not apply to records that are maintained by states, counties, or cities, or by the legislative or judicial branches of the government. For your information, operation for both the Department of Justice and the federal government is decentralized, and each department component and federal entity maintains and handles FOIA requests for its own records. Accordingly, you need to direct your letter to the offices you believe have records pertaining to the subject of your request. Adding additional information regarding the federal government administration of the FOIA, you can go here. Based on the information you provided, you may want to direct your request to the Federal Bureau of Investigation as the federal entity most likely to maintain the records you are seeking. And then they have a Valerie Villanueva. So, I thought it was interesting because when I was first looking at it and when I was reading it, I was under the impression from the FBI website itself I thought what I understood from the FBI itself, is that I had to use that portal to access it. But I think, tentatively speaking here, I think I figured out where it is that I'm gonna have to go. It's itself. I was also hoping, you know, Farron has said that she's been told that she needs to contact the FBI about about her accusing Walner Clips, I think it is, of trying to dox her. And you don't want to get me started on most of that. There was that like some of the issues that I have regarding that. See, I doxed myself again because when they said, "Look, there's my address," ugh, doxed myself again. I wasn't paying fucking attention. This is probably gonna be like the umpteenth time I've shared my address online. So, I mean, good luck getting to my apartment building. You gotta be buzzed in. I live with a bunch of old people who are really suspicious. You can send me hate mail, though, if you want. I mean... oh, goodness. Maybe I'll just... feeling cute, maybe I'll privatize my stream later, like the Quartering did. Like his very first morning stream after he had his meltdown, he privated it. You couldn't see it unless you had the link. Oh. Quarterly is a whole nother about wax. But anyway, I was curious about trying to find some things out about Farron supposedly intending to file charges with the FBI, but I sent him to that. It's possible that the impression that I got, though, is like, you may not be able to get them without her permission. If you have to do everything with another person's fucking permission, how are you supposed to hold the government accountable? I mean, what if they're supposed to be investigating it and they're not? How would I know? How would I be able to tell Farron, hey, you were completely wrong about this shit. You're not getting... they could have turned it down and been like, this is bullshit. We're not doing this. How would we know? Like, she's gonna give me the records. Oh. I was wondering if she would show up in my chat, and she hasn't. I mean, we're not really speaking right now. Really, at all. And you never know, it could be my fault that the documentary hasn't come out yet, because she could have had too many people that came to her and said, we don't want to have anything to do with your documentary anymore. And I mean, I was one of them. Was I being rash? I don't know. Maybe. I didn't like anything that I was seeing, because I'd already seen some rumblings and everything that's going on with these strikes and this person doing that and this person doing this. How can anybody? Well, how can anyone like having their name associated with this? I was like, oh crap, really, really. Just one thing that I've been noticing here is these YouTubers don't know how to um deal with bad publicity the way that Nick Rekieta does. They don't know how. Can't stand trolls. Can't stand being trolled. They can't stand being criticized. And that a big part of that seems to be how a lot of this has snowballed. You know, it's like, and then I guess people do drag family into it when they shouldn't be. But DeFango would do stuff that's, kind of in the gray area here, trying to do what he can do to figure out Divinity says real name, just to intimidate her. And then it was that or something else where he was doing that. There's a whole thread. She fucking retweeted it. I did not agree with her striking the Divinity. I feel like she should take the same approach to it that all the lawyers seem to take it, but they've taken Nick's cue on that, I think. Excuse me. Nick was kind of the one that established the idea that people do this and you just gotta ignore it. It doesn't really fucking matter at the end of the day what they say. It's mostly just words. Just words. And so he was the one that kind of taught them how to handle this and to just not make a federal case out of it. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because she didn't like the way it painted to her, but the little bit that Divinity attempted to do just wasn't enough for her, and so she struck him. She struck multiple of them. So far, her thing is, Divinity says YouTube account appears to still be up. It has not been taken down. So I'm guessing that they're gonna be going to court about it at some point. But I would very much like to have Divinity on. Kind of discuss that. But yeah. I hadn't felt like I'm gonna end up having to deal with crap that I didn't want to deal with. I didn't want to deal with everybody being, why are you working with her? Why would you want her name associated with that? Because of the fact that people on both sides were doing stuff that I was like, this is stupid. This is wrong. But it was. But, you know. I really feel like some of these people, they need a PR person. Grab a hold of them and just say, mm-mm, you know, put their hand up to their throat and go, mm-mm. Kind of, do one of these. Mm-mm. No, no, just don't. But, sadly, that's not the way that things tend to work. That's not the way things, yeah, it doesn't happen that way. They make rash, emotional decisions. Um, and Nick got dragged into it when he didn't want it, dragged into it. But here's the thing with that: it was like it's just a drama. Some of it was drama. Some of the drama was creating legitimate legal questions people wanted answers to. You know, that's still wrong. But and honestly, I really feel, just my opinion, that it was all considered just drama because it involved women. If it involved men, they would have been like, "Oh yeah, we got it set up here." So I have the FBI FOIA here. Um, Working on getting that entered in and set up, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of have it. My opinion here is that this isn't gonna go very far. Myself, I mean, I suppose we can wait and see, but probably probably not gonna be liking how it goes, honestly. Because I have a feeling that they're gonna tell me that you're requesting information from a private individual regarding a private individual. And I have a feeling that they're not gonna give it to me. Can't really do. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know. But I want to go ahead. And I'm gonna go ahead and word it basically the exact same way that I did originally. I'm just getting that pulled up. I'm assuming that it's gonna cost a lot. Ooh. I am a single. I only work for $15 an hour. Much money. No, I don't. It's not a life and death situation, and I think that's like supposed to be one of the reasons that you are able to get it. Alright. So. Yep, I can see in my email that it has been received. So. We're good to go as far as that goes. Alright, now comes the part of the evening where I'm pretty sure if I don't want to get yeeted off of YouTube, I'm gonna have to go ahead and end this. I mean, and as usual, we don't have, many people on there. But, for all of those who did turn in on YouTube and supposedly are still watching on YouTube, always remember that the universe is big and you may feel tiny. But remember that it takes all of us working together to make this sort of world that we wanted. And the universe is big and you may be small. Let me show you what I mean here. This is the universe. And this is you. But it takes a lot of little of these to fill the universe. Alright? So you may feel small and you may feel insignificant, but it does take all of us working together to make this the world make the world a better place and make this the world that we want it to be. So ciao, peace, have a nice night. We are saying goodbye.